Hi everybody, this is Kara DeKretzer, Life and Confidence Coach. Thank you so much for tuning in every Friday for my video podcast. Don't forget to hit subscribe down below and give it a like and a share. Today we are talking about such an important topic that has come up so many times in sessions with my clients that I've actually got some notes to reference, and I've got some notes of my own because this is something that I struggled with for such a long time. One of my beautiful mailing list readers sent me in this topic as something that they wanted to hear more about. So thank you to you, lovely, for sending this one in. Today we're talking about how to speak without fear of offending. Be honest, how many of us are dealing with this issue of this fear of speaking because we're so worried about offending other people? And whilst on the surface of this, it really looks like we're being very kind and considerate and we're holding the peace in many situations. But there is so much more that is happening under the surface of all of this. And I'm going to go through that today. I'm going to be highlighting why it's a problem, sharing one of my own experiences in this kind of situation to really showcase to you the benefits of learning to speak up. But first of all, let's look at what is actually happening in this situation. So often when we hold back from speaking the truth confidently and speaking in a way that might be honest and grounded and truthful, what we're actually doing in those moments is we're fearing being judged, being labeled as difficult, offensive, insistent, somebody who doesn't get along with everybody else. What's also happening is that there's an intense fear of disrupting the harmony. And in doing that, every single time that we do that, we are losing our self-respect a tiny bit in those moments. Many of us women, we learned very early on that being liked equals being safe. If everybody likes us, if we are the one that keeps the peace, that gets along with everybody, it keeps us safe. It keeps us safe from judgment. It keeps us safe in social circumstances. And so what actually happened because of that lesson? Well, we are incredibly emotionally intelligent people. We can go into a room like that, scan it, know what's happening, who's where, how people are feeling, what that person might need. That one might be having a rough day and need a little bit of extra. We just go in and it's like fire all over the place, like boom, boom, boom. Yes, I know what that's happening. I know what I need to do there. I know what might need to happen there. So we became so emotionally and intellectually attuned to reading other people's emotions, getting a sense of what everybody needs to keep the peace. We anticipate their reactions before we've even given them a chance to react. And in doing so, what we're actually trying desperately to control is other people's emotions. Every time we don't speak up for fear of offending people, we're trying to manage the situation and manage their emotional response. Does that make sense to you? Every time you don't speak up, you are trying desperately to manage other people's emotional responses. We must get clear. It's not your job to protect everybody else's emotional responses. It's not your responsibility to control how other people feel. And it is most definitely not mature of you to keep on going in that way. Maturity comes from speaking honestly and from a place of groundedness. I really want to share with you a personal experience that I had in this. I was supporting a team and the project plan did not make any sense to me whatsoever. Logistically, it made zero sense. I was confused. I honestly didn't understand the timeline and the project were just all out of whack. I was honestly like, I don't know how we've gotten to a point where this got approved and this is being managed. I got to a point where I was, nodding and smiling like, I'll get to that deadline tomorrow for that thing that we were meant to do last week. Like, I was all over the shop total and utter confusion. It is not how I work best, by the way. I like to know things are in a structured, planned way. Ask my husband. So I was nodding every meeting, every Zoom call, like, yep, good stuff, yep, I'll do that. Yeah, no, I'm the agreeable one. I'm the one who brings a positive atmosphere into the room. So it's not normally my place to speak out of line, as I was referring to it back then. Eventually it got to a point where I was like, I have to say something because this is exhausting me. There's no way that this can continue. I spoke up and just said, from my point of view, I'm not sure that the timeline makes sense, and I'd just like to get some clarity in terms of why things are structured in this way. I knew that it would be not favourable to the project manager for me to speak out that way, but I knew that something needed to be said. What happened? The team reconfigured, went over the project timeline together. We managed to make some different adjustments because people started speaking up as well. I was so worried about offending the project manager and so scared of speaking that I had held back through numerous calls until that point where I grew the courage to speak up, and I was getting pings on my WhatsApp. Thank you so much for speaking up. Where I come from, we never speak up and question a manager. But thank God you did, because now we've all got a bit more clarity. That's the mature thing to do. To speak up, ask honestly, speak our mind, and trust ourselves that should there be some kind of fallout, I can repair it. But it is not my place to apologize before I do speak up. I went into that room, I went into that meeting, and I spoke up, but I didn't start with I'm sorry, but I don't understand. No, it's nothing for me to apologize for. And doing that built the confidence up in the team to know that they can also ask questions if things don't make sense, and we never need to apologize for doing that. Just a side note on the apologies, because us women are so famous for giving a multitude of apologies for anything and everything. Every time you apologize before speaking confidently without fear of offending other people, it actually, research shows, it makes them lose trust in you, and it makes you lose trust in yourself. When you apologize before speaking, in the other person's mind, they're already thinking, oh, something she's saying isn't going to be right. Why is she apologizing? Already this isn't going to make sense. Do you get the gist? And in your own subconscious mind, you're apologizing before taking up space and having a voice. So it's sending your message, your body, a message that this isn't something I should be doing, and I need to apologize first because I might be out of place, or that person's emotions are more important than my own. There's so many factors at play here, and a lot of it comes down to the conditioning and the stories that we were told in our younger years. And so with my clients, I really try to delve deep into the root causes of why speaking up confidently is such an issue. How was that role model to you? And the emphasis of my work on this with my clients is really understanding that we might have descended from lineages and been passed on these traditions by women in our family where we don't speak up, where there is a fear of hurting other people, where we are people pleasers or perfectionists, and really looking at how we can break that chain so that we don't need to be the message relayers across the lineage of all generations to come. So if this is a big issue for you, I really do encourage you to book a call, because this is something that we can really break through one-on-one. But for now, I really encourage you to practice and think about what is one way that you could speak up honestly this very week. The ways in which you might be losing yourself by trying to keep the peace and not offend others. And start to recognize in yourself when you notice yourself hushing your voice or speaking down. Just have a quiet moment and think, whose emotional responses am I trying to manage in this situation? That's a powerful one, because then you start to understand, I'm trying to control other people's responses, and it's not my responsibility to control their responses. Speaking up confidently is your right. Trust yourself that your voice matters. Trust yourself that you can do some small tweaks, repairs, communicate extra afterwards if you need to. practice putting your hand up and saying, no, I might be insistent, but can I just clarify one more time what this means, or what we're doing as a group, or what that might be, or something is not clear to me. I need to ask a few questions. You can speak up clearly without needing to fear offending other people. Their emotional response is not your duty. But keeping silent, it will absolutely never preserve the harmony, because when you do speak up honestly, people that matter in your life know that they can trust you more, because relationships are built on trust. They're not built on you silencing yourself to manage the room. If people are offended, then that is their responsibility to respond to that situation, and you can always go back and discuss it more with them. But the people that matter will matter even more to you, and you will matter more to them as a result of speaking truthfully and honestly. Thank you so much. If you've liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and please do share. I'm so grateful for every share and every like. And just like somebody shared this topic with me as something that they wanted to deep dive more on, you are more than welcome to contact me and do the same. So you can write to me over at kara@karadecrezza.com, DM me on my socials on Instagram or Facebook at Kara Decrezza, or right here on YouTube. I am so grateful to every single human being that takes the time to watch these videos, and I can't wait for you to tune back in next week. And who knows where I'll be next week. Today it was from the Australian bush, and I'm not sure where I'll be next week. So tune in and enjoy my adventures around the globe, podcasting from you wherever I find myself. Thank you, and I look forward to connecting further in a one-on-one call or a DM. DM me for a discovery call, and we'll get to those root issues together and tackle this once and for all. You are permitted to speak, so go out and practice it, and I'm rooting for you every step of the way. Bye for now.